Hello, this is Suman from Remax Hallmark First Group. A lot of people were wondering what are the underwriting changes on Canada Mortgage Housing Corporations. We have Mark Hubler with us, who works for Capital Home Lending, and I will have him explain you their details.
Thanks for the kind introduction, Suman. And good day to everyone at home. I wanted to give you just a quick update on the CMHC change of guidelines that was announced last week. I believe it was on June 4th. The number one message I've been communicating to all of my partners and my clients has been simply, don't panic. And I say that because at the end of the day, these are changes to guidelines that apply only to CMHC. And I'd like to remind everyone that when we're dealing with mortgage insurance in Canada, that is specifically with three different companies. So there's Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, or CMHC, there's Genworth Canada, and there's also a company called Canada Guarantee. So the recent announcement applies only to CMHC, meaning that the other two companies who have already indicated via press releases that these policies will not apply to them. So certainly something to keep in mind. But it's still important to be aware of what's going on in the marketplace anyhow. So here are the changes that were made by Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. The first rule relates to the credit score that's required to qualify for the mortgage. Previously, we could qualify clients with a credit score as low as 600. Now, the minimum through CMHC is going to be 680. So my advice to everyone is to ensure that as you're preparing to buy a house, it's a good idea to make sure that you have reviewed your credit report and are aware of where your score stands. There are a few simple things that can be done to ensure that your score is brought up in line if there's any repairs that need to be made. The second item that has changed through Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation is with regards to the down payment, more specifically the borrowed down payment component. That announcement indicates that they are no longer going to allow borrowed down payments by way of credit lines, credit cards, or other loan agreements. With that said, there are still programs that are available specifically through Genworth Canada that do allow for that. So do keep that in mind. One thing I also want to clarify on this point is that you're still able to access your down payment through your RRSPs, as well as a secured line of credit, for example, off of a rental property if you already own a rental property. So there are plenty of options that are available for different types of down payment. Of course, the traditional family gifted loan amounts, those have always been accepted as well. Finally, and probably the greatest change that CMHC has introduced on their underwriting guidelines has to do with the debt servicing ratios. Their most recent change indicates that the gross debt servicing, or the GDS as it's commonly referred to, has been reduced from a high of 39 to 35%. The net effect on this for most people using that guideline, if we're going to the absolute most that they would qualify for, would work out to about a 10 to 12% reduction in buying power. I'm going to go back to what I said at the very beginning here. Don't panic. If we're in a position where we need to qualify for the absolute most and CMHC will not approve the file, there are two other mortgage insurance companies that are able to pick up that slack and would be happy to do that business for you. Finally, in conclusion, there are always so many questions that we have when we're working in real estate, whether it's to do with mortgages, whether it's to do with properties, whether it's the right time to buy or sell. My advice to you is, of course, to reach out to Suman. He certainly is the expert in this transaction for you and be able to guide you through any questions that you have. And being a part of his team, I can tell you that I'm really confident in his ability to get everything done for you. With that said, I'm Mark Hubler from Capital Home Lending signing off, and have a good day.